He attributed to me a comment that I never made, which was that we are a Christian nation. I find that remark offensive. If you say we're a Christian nation, what about the Jews? What about the Muslims? What about the non-believers? I mean, one of the great things about our country is the First Amendment guarantees you the right to believe or not to believe, as you choose.
It's now time to officially launch the Second American Revolution. We do not want to secede from the Union to destroy the Republic, but to restore it. We are seceding from the globalist. We are seceding from world government and the mega banks. Our country has already been taken over. I want to secede back to the Republic, back to our nation.
Can this new state include Ted Nugent and Donald Trump?
Well,
they can all just kind of go off together.
We do have assurances from Rick Perry that he is not going to secede, but there is a strain of American politics that is still quite radicalized out there.
Yes, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. These are the states filing for secession. More than half of them are southern states. Does it look familiar? Well, it should. This is a map of the historic South. Interestingly enough, with the exception of the Virginias, every single state that was in the Confederacy is now on board with this petition. And ironically, these are some of the very same states plagued with institutionalized racism to this very day. I can't just help but wonder if this effort is not just about Obama's policies. Because if it were, why didn't we see this kind of initiative during the Bush administration? I mean, after all, the policies are pretty much still the same. Look, obviously I'm no fan of Obama, but the most vocal criticisms about him are based in bigotry and racism. And unfortunately, that's what the media gives the most credence to. And frankly, I'm sick of it. If you are too, let's break the set.
I don't think that the federal government is being fair with the American people. I think they are being overbearing. They are taxing us to death. And they are taking our freedoms away at a breakneck speed.
Thanks to President Obama's re-election, some Republicans think the apocalypse is right around the corner, so they are reorganizing. It's gotten so bad, residents in 40 states have started petitions to peacefully secede from the Union. That's right, the petitions have been filed with the Obama administration's We the People program. If a petition receives 25,000 signatures within 30 days, it'll be reviewed by the White House and a response will be issued. So far, Texas, Florida, Georgia, and Louisiana have all met the 25,000 mark. Governor Rick Perry has flirted with an idea of an independent Texas in the past, but this time he's changed his tune. His office released a statement today saying, quote, Governor Perry believes in the greatness of our union and nothing should be done to change it. But he also shares the frustrations many Americans have with our federal government. Really? Believe it or not, it's good news for Democrats that Texas is sticking around because it's slowly turning blue. Texas has a large growing population of Latinos, African Americans, and Asian Americans who typically vote Democratic. A study from the Houston Chronicle shows the number of Texas Democrats matching up with Republicans around the year 2024. Florida Governor Jeb Bush has a faster timetable. He said last month, quote, 4 years from now, Texas is going to be a so-called blue state. So, damn it, we want our own country, and this is what we're going to do. How serious are they?
I think they're serious, but you have to understand that every culture obviously has its kind of whack jobs out on the periphery, and Texas is no different. I will concede the point, however, that Texas has more than our blessed boatload of nut jobs who want to leave the nation. And these are people who also claim to be patriots like Rick Perry, and out of one side of their mouth they say they're patriots, out of the other side of their mouth they say they want to leave the United States of America.
President Obama's convincing re-election has left some of his detractors threatening to leave the country for real, state by state. Right now, 7 states have collected more than 30,000 signatures, each on petitions to secede. Got it? Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. By the way, Texas leads the pack with more than 115,000 signatures by itself to, quote, peaceably grant the state of Texas to withdraw from the United States of America and create its own new government. As the Washington Post's Dana Milbank put it in a recent column, if Obama were serious about being a good steward of the nation's finances, he'd let them go. Do you hear that? That's because many of those states are part of what Milbank's termed the Confederacy of Takers, states that get more federal money as a whole than they pay in taxes as a whole. For instance, Alabama succeeds. It gets $1.71, $1.71 from the federal government for every dollar paid in taxes. That's a pretty good deal. Louisiana gets $1.45 in federal aid for each dollar it pays in taxes.
I'd like to suggest modestly that they go ahead and leave and stop embarrassing the rest of us. By the way, I wanted to point out there is a place in southeastern Brazil called New Texas that is made up of descendants of people who left the South after the Civil War. They're known now as El Confederados. It'd be good if these folks headed out that way, too.